Alright, we are back, grade 8. Ons is by nummer 1.5 and number 1.5 reads as follows. Tatuatsi invests 15,000 Rand at an interest rate of 12.5% per annum, simple interest for 6 years. Tatuatsi belê 15,000 Rand teen 12.5% per jaar enkelvoudige rente vir 6 jaar. Nommer 1.5.1 vra soos volg. Bereken die rente wat haar belegging na 4 jaar verdien het. Calculate the interest she earned after 4 years. Now, there's an equation that you guys have been taught for simple interest. I'm going to start with the English one. So you have been told that simple interest, of course, is given by, I think it's the principal amount multiplied by the interest rate multiplied by the time, all divided by 100. Now, be careful here. When you substitute, you, of course, with the R over 100, if I can just again make a little margin here, the R over 100 will be the 12.5% or 12.5 rather divided by 100. So that will give you 0.125. Personally, I prefer to use that value immediately. Next year, you will learn in grade 9 that we use the value I or the symbol I, which is actually R over 100. And we completely discard of this R over 100 business because it can get confusing sometimes because in our calculations, in jou berekeninge gebruik jy eintlik die desimale getal in elk geval. You only use the decimal numbers, so you might as well just come into the equation using the decimal number already. But for this example, we will substitute as the equation is laid out. So we have P, which is our principal amount. Dit is ons oorspronklike waarde, die waarde wat belê was of in die geval van 'n lening die waarde wat geleen was. So that would be 15,000 Rand multiplied by, now be careful, we are not going to do this part here as I've explained in the margin. We are going to write 12.5 and we are going to multiply by the time. Now, they are not asking what is the interest calculated over the entire period. They are asking for the interest earned after 4 years. So that will be multiplied by 4, which is the time. And this will all be divided by 100. So doing this on a calculator, let's see what this gives us. If I take 15,000 multiplied by 12.5 and multiplied by 4, and then dividing by 100, I get an answer of 7,500 Rand. So that means the interest earned, die enkelvoudige rente wat verdien word na 4 jaar is gelyk aan 7,500. Natuurlik vir Afrikaans hierso is jou SI. Ek sal blou gebruik. Dit is ER, enkelvoudige rente. So simple interest or enkelvoudige rente, it's the same thing. The calculation is exactly the same, so I will not repeat this in Afrikaans. I think everything here is explained well enough. The formula is the same, so we can then accept this as the solution being concluded. We are done here. Right, so 1.5.2. 1.5.2, let's just use the space here. 1.5.2 says, what is the value of our investment after the 6-year period? You may use the following formula, which is that one there at the bottom. Wat is die waarde van haar belegging na die tydperk van 6 jaar? Jy mag die volgende formule gebruik, if you so choose. So that formula reads as follows. It says A is equal to P multiplied by 1 plus R over 100 multiplied by N. Now again, if you go back to simple interest here, that T, this T will also, next in grade 9, you'll move away from this equation and you'll use the equation that says SI is equal to P times I times N. but that is for later. So N will represent the number of years. In hierdie geval hierso het ons die formule wat N bevat en N natuurlik hierso is die aantal jare. A is die finale bedrag. So dit is die finale bedrag. Met ander woorde, wat is die bedrag aan die einde van die termyn? Die P is die oorspronklike bedrag. En dan natuurlijk hierdie R hierso is die rentekoers. En natuurlijk het ons gesê N is die aantal jare. Okay, so of course we don't know what the final amount is. That is what we're trying to find out or calculate. So that will be our unknown. So A then is equal to the initial amount, or the investment amount here is 15,000 Rand, multiplied by 1 plus. Now R over 100, if you can remember, if we go back up here, R over 100 here was 0.125. So you can just use that there, so we don't have to do that calculation again. If we didn't do this earlier, you of course would have to do that here in this calculation, and then of course multiplied by, this time they are wanting to know the final amount of the 6 years, so you're going to use 6 as your N value, because N is the number of years. So we will just plug all of this into a calculator. So we've got 0.125. The order in which you do this calculation, sometimes it matters, I think. I usually start with taking the 0.125, so the interest multiplied by the number of years, and then I add the 1, and then that answer I multiply by 15,000, and we obtain an amount of 26,250 Rand. That is the final amount of the 6 years. So an investment of 15,000 Rand at simple interest of 12.5% annually gives you, after 6 years, 26,000 Rand 250.